Fine. So in this session we will start with the frameworks. Fine. There are many frameworks available in the market, such as the Datadriven framework is there, then the hybrid framework is also there. Okay, there's a potential difference between both these frameworks. One more framework called modular framework is there, but that's not so much used these days. The hybrid one, that is the mixture of keyword and Datadriven, is very famous. Fine. So we will be doing this hybrid framework, which is a kind of mixture of keyword driven as well as data driven framework. Okay. So what's there in the keyword driven framework and what's there in the data driven framework? Basically, in the data driven framework, all your data is parameterized. That is, it is actually read from an external source, generally an XML file, or most of the times it's an Excel file. Okay. Now using Selenium, you can make a hybrid framework as well. Fine. So we will be making a framework on the website olo.com. Fine. This is the site. Olo.com. Fine. It's an open source based website. You can submit open source projects in it. Right. So I have some test cases in this website. Right. These 4 test cases: check the header links, a login test, add a project test, and search test. In this I have got the run modes of my tests set to yes, fine, and no. Okay. Now in this, what we will do is that we will run only those test cases which have the run mode yes, right? And each test case has a test case ID associated with it. And corresponding to each test case ID, I have a sheet in this Excel file, right? So out here for TC01, I have this sheet. Inside this sheet, I have described everything regarding the test case 01. That is, it is having these 13 test steps. It is having some description, and basically this test, it will test the top header links. Okay. It will click on each of these header links and it will see whether the next page is opening successfully or not. Okay. So I have the keyword navigate first. Now keywords, what are keywords? Keywords are the things which will basically drive your framework. Okay. And a keyword can be reused again and again. For example, the verify text keyword over here. It will verify the text in the application. Okay. And this can be reused within the same test or across the tests as well. Similarly, the keyword click link. It is capable of clicking on any link provided you have the description of the object set properly. We'll see this object description later on. Fine. So we have a keyword with us. What do I do? First keyword is navigate. Navigate to the test site URL. Okay. So the test site URL, I navigate to it. Then the second keyword is that you need to execute click link and then verify text. Link header home and then text home. So forget about this column right now, object. Okay, just see the keywords. Okay, click link, verify text, then again click link, verify text, then again click link, verify text. Okay, so basically I will click on each and every of these links and verify the text on the next page, which will tell us whether the links are working fine or not. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the other keywords, other test cases, for example, in the test sheet, the run mode for TC03 is set to yes. Okay. So Selenium, while executing the script, will only execute the TC03. Okay, and it will execute the keywords for the TC03. Okay, these are the keywords for the TC03, right? And TC03 is basically adding a project into this website. In this website, you can add your open source project so that it is visible to everybody, right? So in TC03, I will actually use these sets of keywords. Now you see that the keywords are repeated. For example, the navigate and the click link keyword, they were also used in TC01, right? So similarly, I have used the same keywords again and again in different tests. Okay, but the object name is different for each and every keyword. We will see how the object name is there. What does it do? These will basically point towards the XPATHS of the objects. Okay, so the keywords are the driving force in the web application testing via hybrid framework or a keyword driven framework. Okay, so once the script is over, we need various things with us. Okay, we need to have an output, or we need to have a proper system with us. That is, I'll show you with the help of a diagram. We will be using JUnit in this framework. Fine. So the heart will be JUnit. Okay. Now what JUnit will do, it will execute the Selenium scripts. These are my Selenium scripts, the test cases. It will execute only those test cases which have the run mode yes set in the Excel file. Okay. So that means it will also, JUnit framework will also read the Excel files and will only execute those test cases which have the run mode yes. Fine. Along with it, it will have to do some logging as well. Remember the log4j API we studied, right? That what happened at what moment of time. You have to log everything. Suppose you are executing 600 test cases and the script is taking 14 hours to complete. You need to log everything what happened at each and every minute in an Excel file or in a text file. So you need the logging API like log4j. Fine. Along with it, we will be generating some reports. So JUnit will be the heart of everything. It will generate the test reports, and after generating the test reports, you have to automatically email the reports as well. Right? Fine. And in the end, you also need a bat file in the framework on which you double click and the complete framework will execute. Okay, with the help of ANT. So that means that you need to integrate this framework with ANT build and compile tool as well. Right, so that you can run it on Unix based system, Linux based system, or in your own machine which is Windows based. You can run it through command prompt, or you can execute it through a bat file. Right. Fine. So this bat file is something which we saw in module 8 while studying JUnit framework. It's like an exe file. Building a bat file. It's like an exe file. You double click on it and your script will just start executing. Okay. We'll make that again in this framework. Fine. And we'll see how do we do that soon. Right. And regarding the reports, what kind of reports we will be making in the JUnit or the hybrid framework? We will be making our own customized reports like these. Right. Yeah. We will be making reports like these ones. Okay. In these reports, you will have the run date, the start time of the framework, the end time, the environment on which the script was running, the release for which the script was running. Okay. And each and every test will have its own description. For example, my TC01 is failing along with the error message. What was the start time for test case 1? What is the end time for test case 1? If I click on the TC01 link, then wait just a minute. The page is coming blank, but in the actual reports, okay, in the reports which we will be making, when you click on this link TC01, you will get the description for each and every test in TC01. Alright. let me look out. Yeah, report like this. For example, this HTML file. It will tell you the detailed report of the test step 01. The keyword, each and every keyword which was executed on and on which step did the report fail. That is, on which step did the execution fail. Fine. Along with it, I'll have a screenshot column for each and every step. If I click on the screenshot link, the screenshot of that page will come up. You see that? Fine. So this is how we will execute our framework. We will develop these customized reports as per key by the keyword, right? And we will also be generating some logs. Okay. So now what all we will be requiring in this framework? We will be requiring the knowledge of obviously the Selenium, right? But in Java, you should be thorough with the collections API and especially the reflection API. In reflection API, we studied how to call a function with the same name as the variable name, right? Along with that, we will be covering log4j as well as Excel file handling topics from the module 7. So if you have not, if you don't remember these, better look at these modules today, the videos for these modules, and come back with that tomorrow, right? So let's see. This is the framework which is already built in. I've already done it, right? And I'll expand the folders and I'll explain you what actually happened. Okay. The first thing is the data table package, right? Because I have finalized my Excel files, I finalized the keywords and everything. Now I need to read the Excel files. For that, in the previous module, that is module 7, we had made this file called XLS Reader. And I told you I have made many utility functions inside this, right? So you have to have this in your project. Okay. Similarly, in the config package, if I expand the config package, then you have the Excel files over there. Along with it, I have some property files. That is, one of the property file is config.properties. Over here, I have kept various configuration properties for my framework. That is, my test site URL is this. This is the base URL for my website. I am testing it on the browser Firefox. The login URL is, this is the login URL. Fine. That this is, I'll just copy this URL and show it to you. This is the URL where you can actually go and log into the application, olo.com. Fine. And you can keep as many URLs inside it as you want. Okay. Right. So test site browser is Firefox. You can change it to Chrome, you can change it to IE, right? If you're using RC, you can change it to Safari as well, anything, right? Screenshot path, that is the path where I will be storing all the screenshots of the application under test. That is, it is under seed rise keyword driven REP, this folder. Okay. So this folder also has the reports. These are the reports, okay, which are generated, right? So now we'll generate the reports. We'll see everything. Okay. Basically, I want to tell you that inside configuration.properties file, I have kept all the URLs and all where I will be storing the reports. Similarly, in the or.properties files over here, that is object repository as you call in QTP, I have created a property file. In this property file, I have kept all the XPATHS which I will be using in application. I have kept all my XPaths at a centralized location in one property file. Why have I done this? so that I don't end up hard coding XPaths in everywhere in the code. Now tomorrow, suppose you are testing this site also, fine, and suppose what happens is that the position of, suppose, the sign in link over here, it changes to the from right to left. Obviously the XPath will change. Now if the XPath changes, you will have to go into the code, into the Java file, everywhere, and you will have to check where all this XPath is being used, right? And you will have to change everywhere. It's a hectic task, because if I automate my website today and leave it for 2 months, and somebody tells me after 2 months that you need to change the code, I would have forgotten everything, what I did it in the code and where did I use the sign in link, especially in the big applications. So what you do is that you keep the XPath at a centralized location. I have kept it in a properties file, or.properties. And tomorrow if somebody comes and tells me that, okay, the username input box, it has changed, you need to change the XPath, right? I just need to go over here and need to change the XPaths, right? So these are the XPaths for my texts in the application. These are the XPaths for the links. So I have organized everything. That's the major thing. You need to organize everything. These are the XPaths for input box. These are the XPaths for button and select, right? So you can keep as many XPaths in this, but the only condition is, as we studied in the module 7, that the keys in the properties file should be unique. Alright, the keys should be unique. Right? Along with that, now I have told you about data table. I have implemented the XLS reader. I have kept the XPaths in a centralized property file. I have kept the keywords inside the Excel files, right? And how do I bring in the test data now? Okay, I have the configurations as well with me, right? For example, in the test TC03, I am saying input the username. Okay, then object over here refers to the key in the XPath.properties, input login username. Okay, the keyword is input and the object is input login username. If you look at your OR.properties, then input login username has got this XPath. So this key over here, it's very important that you use proper wordings for these keys. They should be unique, and I have named the key over here, and I have also specified the keys in the Excel file. Okay, when you write input, you write the object name. So what will happen is, that means I have to write the something in this object with this XPath, right? And what I have to write? I have to write username. Okay, username. Where is username coming from? Right? That's coming from another Excel file, right? That Excel file is residing out here under config. This was the controller.xls which I have just opened, right? Another Excel file is testdata.xls, right? I'll open this file, right? Okay. In testdata.xls, I have got one sheet per test case. Okay. For example, for TC03, this is my data, right? The username is my login ID, the password is my password. The username column over here, okay, I have specified in controller.xls that I have to input the username, the keyword is input, this is the object in which I have to write, and data column name, that is the name of the column in testdata.xls from where the username has to be read. Okay. Similarly, input the password in the input login password object. This object is present over here. right? And I need to get the password value from the password data column from testdata.xls. Fine. Now similarly, for selecting a drop list, you look at the step 12. Select the license, it's a select drop down box. The keyword is select and the object is select project license. This is the object. Okay. So I will search for the object in my or.properties. This is the object, the select drop down, this is the XPATH, and what value do I have to select from it? It is in the license column. Okay, you look at testdata.xls. Under the license column, this is the value from the drop down which I need to select. Fine. So I am just telling you the outline of the framework right now. Okay, I am not going into the Java code right now, how this Java code is going to handle this. First, you need to understand the outer part, the skeleton of the framework, right? So I have got various keywords, right? I have got a wait keyword as well, which can put a delay in your execution, right? Click link keyword, the object name is link sign out. So the link sign out over here in the or.properties will actually point towards the sign out link in the application. Fine. So this is how you can build the structure of the framework. And along with this, along with the structure, we have made controller.xls, we have made data.xls, we have made config.properties in which I have the configurations, my site names and all, my screenshot paths and all. Fine. And I have got OR.properties in which I have got object repository, that is the link, specs, input box and all, everything which the Selenium basically needs XPaths. I have all the XPaths in this file at a common location. Then I need a logging mechanism. For that I have this log4j.property file. I had explained to you about log4j API when we were in the module 7. Module 7 is very important. Alright. Better watch the video again if you are not remembering this log4j. What log4j does, it generates this file application log. I told you that you need to mention the name of the log file here under the dest file, right? And in application log.properties, this kind of log will be generated when the script runs. That what happened at what time, right? And everything will come up, executing this test result, some error came or something like this. Okay, so everything will be controlled by the Java code. Fine. So this is the structure of the framework which we will be designing.